Hey, everyone. We're a little late getting on. Technical difficulties on my end tonight, but we're here with Jake and JC from Scottsboro. Introduce yourself, names and positions.
I'm Jake Jones, senior quarterback at Scottsboro.
I'm JC. I'm a senior linebacker.
All right, JC, I was hoping you would say your last name so I don't slaughter it.
Heikkinen.
You're going to be JC for the rest of the night. I'll put it that way. That's Phil Harris over there from WQSB, and I'm Randall Cunningham, of course, River-City-Media. I'm going to start out with a couple of questions. I'm going to throw a couple of both of you, and then we'll go over to Phil. First, Jake, I've been dying to ask you this all day, and just in a roundabout way, how much adjusting have you had to do to Coach Van's offense?
Oh, it's like night and day difference from Coach Bell to Coach Van. Footwork, just the whole offense schemes are completely different. Didn't throw much in Coach Bell's offense, more run heavy, but still used to reading the defense with Coach Bell's offense, and now that's transferring over to Coach Van's offense, just different reads. But I'm excited for what he's got in store for us this year. So,
Jake, the one thing that everyone said along the way to me was Coach Van is going over where they didn't run his offense, but Jake can spin it. Do you feel like you've always had the arm talent to throw the ball more?
We did a pretty good job throwing it last year. We were pretty efficient. I think we threw it a lot more compared to the years before, but I think over the years my arm's gotten stronger, but it's all about a connection between quarterbacks and wide receivers, so it's really hard to say.
Interesting. Good. All right, JC. At Sylvania, Coach Van's defense had one calling card, and that was physicality. How physical has your fall camp been?
Oh, it's been really physical. Like this year, we've really focused on being violent, and it's a lot different than Coach Bell's fall camp. Like we had a fall camp, but it's nothing like Coach Van's. Coach Van's is really physical.
So, as far as the scheme defensively, not to get into too much, Coach gives it a little different look, but I think his goal is always to win that first couple yards of the line of scrimmage. As a linebacker, you get a running look at this, and he's always gave his linebackers kind of a running look at the run back. Do you feel like you're getting a step up and pop some people in the hole a little better?
Yes, sir, I do. I think running back, we run the ball pretty good bit, and I feel like our offense allows us to be able to make better reads because our offense is complicated compared to other offenses. And so it's good to see all the different looks as a linebacker because then when we get into the season, we're seeing this. We've already seen it the whole summer. So it makes it a lot easier.
Phil, come to you in the next question. Jake, what's JC's best character as a defensive player?
I would say probably two. He's a very good leader, very vocal leader, and he's a pretty tough guy. I like battling against him every day. He makes us a lot better, and we make him a lot better. So.
Hey, that is fun. JC, what's it like to line up across from Jake every day?
He's really confident, and so every day we have pretty good competition going, and it's a good challenge to try and compete and win against Jake because he's got some skill, and I like to think I got some skill. So, it's good competition.
It's great when Phil, I don't know back in Valley Head in '84 if y'all had a ones against ones. Y'all probably had to scale it back to 6 against 6, but it is fun when you get a good practice going and you got best on best.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, at a 1X we had half line scrimmages, so it's a whole lot different. But Jake, I want to ask you this: your mentality is kind of going to change on offense, where you have been. When you come to the scrimmage, it's basically you're going to read. If you don't give it to the fullback, you have two options: you're going to pitch it or run it. Well, now you're probably going to have some RPOs, but now you're going to have to, whether you're going to run the ball or pass the ball a lot of times now. Do you find yourself every once in a while, because you don't want to think when you're in any kind of situation, do you stop every once in a while and kind of sort of confuse yourself a little bit by thinking instead of reacting? Because it's hard to change from being a running quarterback to more of a throwing quarterback.
Absolutely. So with a new offense, I think it's really important to just not overcomplicate it, just simplify it. Sometimes I catch myself speeding up too much. I just gotta slow it back down. But I think going from the triple option to this offense, it's a little bit simpler in a way. We will have some RPO stuff, but I'm still just gonna do my job best I can.
But of course, you guys, you had Chris Bell last year. I know he was a very disciplined type coach, and when he left, naturally you lose that trust in the next coach that comes in. So Coach Van had to basically, he was on trial when he walked in. Did y'all accept what he had to say pretty quickly?
Absolutely. I think his biggest preaching point or emphasis is the weight room, and I think all the games we've struggled in the past few years is because we haven't been the stronger team. So I think this year that has been a big emphasis, and the years to come that's going to be our biggest challenge and what we got to work on as a program.
Yeah, another thing.
Go ahead, Jason.
Another thing in the weight room, we saw good results really early. And I feel like that helped people buy in because it showed us that Coach Van really knows what he's doing when it comes to the weight room.
Well, a lot of coaches now, and especially over here in our area, a lot of games are won in the weight room. And of course, coaches now, I guess you got used to it. Back when I played, you dreaded going into the weight room. But coaches now kind of challenge you and make it fun, actually.
Absolutely. Yeah. So I think he brings kind of a more not really modern, but just a newer approach to it, more energetic, it's stuff that we haven't really seen before. But it's all good for us, and we enjoy being in the weight room.
Well, I tell you, I know y'all probably thought a lot of Coach Bale, but with Coach Tyler Van coming in, he's a little closer to your age. Do y'all relate to him real well?
Me and him pick at each other a lot because we're always competing and bantering a little bit. Obviously, there's still respect there, but he challenges me to be better every day, and that's kind of how we relate. But he's really a player's coach. He knows how to get to everybody and challenge them to be the best they can be.
Well, JC, this is questions for you because I know how some of how his coaching style is. Does he challenge y'all this way in practice where there's little competitions that constantly go on?
Oh, yes, sir. There was a bunch of competition during practice, especially during fall camp. We've had a lot of competitions. And so he's putting a lot of pressure on us to perform and to succeed. And, so it's just tough, and it's good that we're getting so much competition.
Well, I know you guys consider yourself leaders. How has Coach Van challenged you to take on that leadership role? And Jake, I know you're a leader being at quarterback. Do you consider yourself a vocal leader also?
I mean, I have to be in order for us to be successful. I think if I have a bad practice, it trickles down to, skill players, linemen. If I have a good practice, it helps build everybody up, and that's where I gotta be consistent as a leader. I gotta have consistency day in and day out, to where even if I'm having a bad day or a bad practice, it doesn't show, and I'm being a positive influence on my teammates.
Well, JC, do you make a lot of the calls on defense?
Yes, sir. Usually, or I'm not middle linebacker, so our middle linebacker calls the strength, but I'm the guy who's looking to the sideline, who's getting the signals and the calls and stuff like that.
Yeah. So, basically you have to be a vocal leader also. And then,
yes,
of course, now last year, you guys finished 8-3, great season, lost a heartbreaker to Mars Hill, lost to Guntersville, but finished second in the region. Did very well. Offensively, y'all really put up the points. Jake, especially in that Fort Payne game, y'all put up, I think it was 56 in the first game of the season. In the first couple of years, as you was learning your position, this team really come together last year. So really with Coach Van coming in, the cupboard's not dry. You guys have learned how to win, and that carries over.
Yes, sir. So I'm not one to be fine with losing. I hate losing. I hate losing when I like winning. I despise it. So like past few years, we started to win a little bit more. We've gotten used to it, and now it's an expectation. So.
Well, JC, I guess on the defensive side of the ball, I'm sure y'all are going to be a lot more physical because as well as I do, to be successful in the playoffs, you got to stop people.
Yes, sir. Yeah, there's going to be guys in playoffs that we might not be more skilled than. Where they're probably going to be bigger than us, a little stronger than us. But we have to be technique sound, and we have to be able to bring a punch and hit pretty hard and be able to stop those guys in like Birmingham teams and stuff like that.
Got to be physical.
Yeah, very, very physical. Yeah, because, that's just the way football has gotten. There for a while we were kind of playing finesse ball. Everybody was spreading the field and throwing the ball around. But football's come back to being more of a physical game, and you see a lot of coaches putting that back in. And a lot of that, and you guys to see that already, is in the weight room.
Yes, sir. Like I said earlier, that's probably Coach Van's biggest emphasis is the weight room. So I'm excited to see how it helps us this year and the years to come.
Yeah. Well, so far fall camp has been good. Of course, I'm sure y'all are looking forward to the season, and y'all get Chattanooga Christian. That's kind of one of those you really don't know what you're going to see, but those kind of games are kind of fun because you're kind of going to be focusing more on yourself than anything else.
Yeah, I can probably speak for John Carter here too, but I think we're all getting tired of hitting each other. I think we just want to take it out on somebody else. So I'm last year, so I'm ready. I'm ready to hit somebody else.
And as a defense, I feel like it's gonna be good to see where we're at when we play somebody else. Because like going against ourselves, like we're gonna learn the offense eventually, but going against somebody else is good to see where we're at compared to others.
Randy, go ahead if you got something to ask.
Hey, I just wanted to jump in because Jake said something. Jake, at his heart, he is a head coach, but he's still a quarterback, which leans to that competitive edge. Is that something you like about Coach Van and how he won't give anybody an inch because of his competitive nature?
Absolutely. So I'm not one to ever back down from a challenge. I want to be the best I can be every single day, and he's not one to not let you be at your best. So he's going to challenge you every single day to be going 100% and be doing the best you can be. So that's what I like about him and us both being quarterbacks. We both challenge each other. He challenges me more than I challenge him, obviously. But, I like working with him. He's making me a lot better as a leader and as a quarterback.
JC, hey, here's a comment. He's going to K98's own Justin Thrash. Excited to call the games Friday night for you guys. Hey, there's a lot of excitement from the media to that locker room. JC, Coach doesn't talk about expectations, so I won't call them expectations. But what do you feel like the team expects from each other on Friday night?
I'm sorry, you cut out a little bit. What did you say? I'm sorry.
Coach don't really talk about expectations a lot, but he does expect a certain level of play. What do you think are the things that will define that play every Friday night?
All right, so what we've focused on a lot is our stance and alignment, making sure that we're in the right place before the play, because then it's going to set us up for the play. And then our assignment. So we have to know exactly what we're doing each play based on motions and where like linemen go, reading the linemen. And so, he expects us to know that and not to mess it up.
That's awesome. Hey, Jake, come Friday night, I've been on the sideline with him several times. He'll print the longest play sheet that you ever seen, but it's real hard to get him to flip to that second page. Just remember that on Friday nights, all right? Phil, go ahead.
Well, Jake, on the offense, of course, last year y'all run the football a whole lot. Who are you counting on in the backfield this year? Because I know everybody's going to say Coach Van is going to throw the ball more, but the running game is still important.
Absolutely. We're going to be, I mean, not necessarily like a run-only team, but we're going to be we're going to have to be a good run team to be a successful team. So our running back, Jacoby Edmondson, he is at a great offseason. He's put on a lot of weight. He's getting a lot quicker, faster, and stronger, and he's going to be our main running back. He's going to be our starting running back. And our line's gotten a lot bigger and stronger. And we're still, working every day to get better. And it's progress. It's a process, but we're surely getting there. Those are our guys running the ball. They've all been in the weight room. We've all gotten a lot better. So.
Yeah. Well, tell me this, Jake. I know, of course, you being an option quarterback, and of course, Coach Van is going to adjust to what talent he has, but without giving away anything, has he put things in the offense to where you have more designed quarterback run plays?
I mean, I'm going to run the ball a little bit. Yeah, I mean, I'm going to run the ball a little bit. That's one thing that I do have in my arsenal is I can run it a little bit. I'm confident with my running. So,
well, I guess kind of in the sense where a lot of times a quarterback, to get out of a bad play, he's just going to chunk it into the sidelines, where
exactly.
You may be looking more to get upfield and get a few yards out of it.
Yeah, absolutely. Chunking it out of bounds is usually my last option. I want to see what I can get. I'm pretty confident when I'm one-on-one with a defender, I can make a mess. So I try to get as many yards as I can because I feel like that's what I'm best at is creating plays.
Well, JC, defensively, I don't know what y'all run last year. What is kind of defense are y'all running this year that's different from last year?
Not much, other than the fact I bumped out. So last year I was an inside backer. This year I bumped out to an outside backer, which has been a little bit of a change because last year I was fitting everything inside out. Now I'm fitting everything outside in, which has been not bad because our offense, I get a lot of reps in when we go against our offense. So it's been a little bit of a struggle, but I got it pretty early. So.
Are y'all going to be a lot more aggressive on the defensive side of the ball?
Yes, sir. Well, last year we did blitz a lot. This year, I'm not sure how Coach Hammond wants to do it, but I know that we need to stay gap sound whether we do blitz or not.
Yeah, well, that sounds good. Of course, it's going to be just a little bit of a change in different style. Of course, Coach Van does a great job of adjusting to what personnel he has. And when you guys heard he first got the job, what were you thinking? You had to know he's been successful no matter where he's been. I know you guys were kind of looking out there, okay, who's going to be our next coach? And you had to have heard his name come up. So you already kind of sort of knew a little bit about him. Was y'all excited when you heard his name called?
Well, yeah, I think a new young face is kind of refreshing for our program. Someone with a lot of energy. Coach Bell did a great job here, but Coach Van, we believe in what he's doing. So when I heard that he was going to be our coach, I was really excited. Something new. I think if we would have been in this offense for 4 years, there's no telling what we'd be doing right now. So
it's going to be kind of strange when you pick up the newspaper and you're going to have more passing yards probably than rushing yards because it's going to be the exact opposite for you.
Yeah, it's going to be weird.
Yeah, going to be strange, but you're going to enjoy it. Because I know when Coach Van, he works you hard, and I know he does that. And he puts you through it in the weight room. But on a Friday night, it's your night, and he's going to let you guys have fun.
So, well, that's what it's all about. Football is a game where you want to have fun, you want to fly around, you just want to be free. So he's preparing us all week, all summer, all fall camp for this. So once we get out there on Friday nights, it's just go out there and have fun, and do your job.
Let's talk a little bit about the upcoming season. Of course, you finished 8-3 last year, lost to Moody in the first round of the playoffs. And I'm sure you guys used that game as motivation because the 3 of the 4 teams that come out of that region were very good.
Absolutely. So I think Coach Van's biggest emphasis being the weight room. I think that's a lot of the reasons why we lost the games we lost. We weren't physical enough. We weren't strong enough. And with Coach Van being here now and us being in the program for a little while, all summer, all spring, and all fall camp, I think it's going to help out a lot in those kind of games where we're not the biggest, the fastest, or the strongest.
Of course, looking at the upcoming season, of course, your region schedule is tough as usual. We've got Guntersville. They're going to be the one you'll kind of point to is down the road. But right off the bat, you've got probably two of your biggest rivals. You'll play for the Top Cat Trophy week 1 against Fort Payne, and then week 2 you'll travel up to North Jackson. Those two games, the community really looks forward to these two.
Absolutely. I think Fort Payne is probably our biggest tone setter of the year. We were able to come out pretty hot against Fort Payne last year. We scored 49 points in the first half. And we struggled in the second half a little bit, but we ended up winning that game. And I think that set the tone for us last year. We established that we were going to win games, win close games, and we did that for the most part. So.
Yeah, with JC, of course, y'all are going to get a challenge on the defensive side of football right off against Fort Payne because our Dax Bernador can flat throw the football.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, it's definitely going to test our secondary and our outside linebackers getting to the flats because last year they killed us on the outs. The outs really got to us last year, which early we stopped them pretty good. Pretty sure we went on a 21-0 run early in the game. But then they got a little hot, started throwing the ball around a little bit, and it's hard for us to stop it.
Yeah,
turned into be. Yeah.
He's going to throw it 40. He's going to throw it about 40 times a game. So.
Yeah, more than likely. I think they're going to be a lot pass happy this year. But I got to see them a little bit. They had a scrimmage the other night, and he can flat toss the football. And he's got some guys that can catch it. Now, the Griggs kid, he can catch the football. So, they're a dangerous football team naturally. And, of course, Jake, also, I know basically your offense last year was ball control, but y'all end up being very explosive. And I'm sure Coach Van this year, y'all are going to be run or pass, but he's going to use the running game to kind of control the football game because in the second half, he thinks he thinks y'all are going to be stronger than the other team. So the running game is going to be very important, especially in the second half.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think it's kind of football common sense. If you hold the ball longer than the other team, you have more time of possession. I mean, your likelihood of winning the game is pretty high if you don't turn the ball over. And I think that's a part of our a big part of our offense is taking care of the ball. If we can do that, I think we're gonna be all right.
Randy, you want to chime in?
Yeah, you hit a point there, and I wanted to ask. I've got two questions. First, on Phil's point, Jake, I think one of the big fallacies of Coach Van's offense that there is not an element of power running. And you've already talked about having some skill at in your backfield. There is definitely an element of some physical run to this offense.
Yeah, we're used to, trying to just muscle everything out, get as many yards as we can get, the tough yards. So I think as an offense, we're used to that. Our players are used to that. Backfield's used to that. So I don't think that's anything new. I think we're just doing it a new way. So,
do you think some of your competitions might look at it and go, "Oh, Coach Van from Sylvania, he threw it 50 times a game. They're going to throw it 50 times," and not look that he had a back last year carry the ball 43 times in a game.
Yeah.
So he will do what's successful. So do you still think you might run into that? Okay, we're just going to throw it 17 times, but we're going to run it 60-9.
I mean, as long as we win, I'm happy. That's what it's all about at the end of the day. But Coach Van, I think, has said it on the air. But I mean, if we have to throw it 50 times a game to win, or run it 50 times a game to win, we're going to do what we got to do. So, I mean, we want to run the ball. I mean, if you can run the ball in high school efficiently, you're gonna be all right.
Very, very true. JC, and then Jake, I want to ask you too. How long was the first meeting before Coach Van installed his non-negotiables?
It was think it was first day I was there because I came from baseball, so I got there a little after everybody else. But it was first week I had them memorized.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I think the first day all the sports were back together. I think that was when we had our big team meeting, and he laid down his kind of foundation for the program and what he wants it to look like. So pretty early on, he set in stone how it's going to go.
And his locker room. Y'all have I know Coach kind of has a particular way to keep the locker room. Is that different? Is Coach Bell the same?
Yeah, so we ran into some trouble with that a little bit because, we weren't necessarily used to that, keeping them super clean. We obviously, we're clean. I'm not saying we're not clean. We're clean. It's just a different level, and that's what you want. It's all about being disciplined and doing the little things right.
Yes.
But we had to pay for that a little bit when we did do it right. So.
Yeah. Yes. And you know what? I've been in one of his lockers room before, and he was clean enough to eat off the floor, I believe. So, Coach Van will get that correct. Go ahead. I just wanted to jump in there for a second.
Yeah, and coaches emphasize that, but that's discipline in the locker room, that's discipline in practice, and that's discipline in the game because you play like you practice, and it starts in that locker room.
Mm-hmm. So I think going into this week, our biggest emphasis, we emphasized it in our team meeting today, was if you're going to be a good team, you got to practice really well, and if you're going to do little things right, you got to do it in practice every single rep, always going 100%.
Yeah, well, I want to ask you this, Jake, changing to the offense, because I played in a run offense. When we tried to throw the football, sometimes it was jailbreak. We do a very good job. We didn't work on it a whole lot. Has Coach had to spend a little extra time in practice pass blocking because your guys have basically been trained to run the football?
Yeah, so I think that's where we've honestly taken our biggest steps is our pass protection. And just all around throwing the ball as like a unit, as a 11-man offense. We had a pretty good 7-on-7 season this summer. We won some games. We fought. We won some tight games that we maybe shouldn't have won, but I think that's says that we can be pretty good throwing the ball. We just gotta be confident. I think a lot of it's confidence and being comfortable with what you're doing. So I think that's why we work on what we work on.
Well, JC, on the defensive side of the ball, the kind of style that Coach Van plays, is it going to give you opportunities to make big plays?
Oh, yeah, 100%. I think the defense we're running is very efficient, and I think going up against Coach Van's offense is going to make us a lot better because of the speed they run it at and the ability and the high, like their technique, how good they are at it. I feel like that's going to make us a lot better going into the season.
Of course, playing against the teams you play against, you're going to give up yards, but I guess there's a big emphasis on trying to create turnovers.
I think one of our biggest things as like an offense is if you're winning the turnover battle, I think there was a study on it. Your chances of winning is like 66%. That's pretty high. So I think taking care of the ball as an offense and then trying to create turnovers as a defense is really huge. And I think that's been a big emphasis. So
yeah, another thing, if we can hold a team to at least or at most 14 points and get a couple turnovers, our chances of winning go up a lot because Coach Van is confident in his offense that they're going to be able to get down the field and score. And if we can hold them to at most 14, then we have a really good chance of winning. So,
well, this question's for both of you. What do y'all like best about Coach Van?
I think how he challenges us each and every day. I think it's going to pay off in the long run. He's very, very energetic, and
yeah, I was going to say his energy. I love Coach Bell, but he's a little older. It's probably harder for him to get some of the energy. But Coach Van, he'll get energetic. He'll jump around. He'll slap you up top of the helmet. I love that. It helps you get going.
I still love Coach Bell though, but yeah, I think the energy has been a big difference from coach to coach. So
Yeah, and I know both of them are great guys. I got to meet Coach Chris Bell, got to talk with him a couple of times, and he left the program in great hands, and that just helped Coach Van when he stepped in. Well, guys, I want to know, outside of football, I know Coach Van, understands that you guys have got to like each other off the field also. What are some of the things you guys try to do to create that, team atmosphere off the field, on the field, even in school?
Yeah, so I think a big part of football is being bonded as a team and all fighting for the same goal, pushing the same direction. So, I mean, if we can all get, on the same page, and I think that's what Coach Van has been pushing really hard. I mean, it's either one guy will make a mistake, one play, and the next play will be a different guy. So I think if we can all buy in and do what we're supposed to, we're gonna be pretty good.
Yeah, another big thing is during practice, especially fall camp last couple weeks, offense and defense are competing a lot, and sometimes you get a little chippy. Like, it's just gonna happen. There's no way around it.
We're still a
But
team, though.
yeah, once you get back in the locker room, you got to remember that y'all all wear the same color on Friday night. So you just got to put that behind you and know that we're all the same team.
Yeah, we're a brotherhood. We're all fighting for the same goal. So.
Yeah, because I'm sure any coach would tell you, if you're going to get mad at somebody, you get mad at the coach. You don't want to get mad at each other.
Yeah.
Because you don't want it to be personal naturally.
Absolutely.
All right, Randy.
I've got a couple of questions. And guys, when I ask these and Coach comes in and asks you about them, they were from Howie Cheney, not Randall. So I want to make sure these are clear. Here you go, guys. How many times have you heard Coach Van talk about himself?
Man, it's constantly. I'm not. I hate to rat on Coach Van, but I mean, he's confident in himself, and he's always talking about himself in third person. So.
I'm glad you.
I might pay for that one later, but
I didn't say nothing.
yeah, I'll take the blame.
Okay, well, JC, this is going to be right at you.
All right.
Because this is a big one for his defense. How many times have you heard him say in practice, get your eyes right? Get your eyes in the right place. Get your eyes where they belong.
Oh, a lot.
How many times have you heard him on the defensive side say, get your eyes right?
A lot, especially like at linebacker position, your reads are probably one of the hardest on the defense. And so there's going to be – it's the offensive job to try and get the linebackers to move in the wrong place because that sets up holes. So as a linebacker, you got to know your reads. And though, like, you may be seeing stuff out of the corner of your eye that doesn't look right, you got to trust what you're looking at and know that it's going to lead you to the ball.
Yeah, and I think, I mean, he says it on offense too, and we got people pulling or double teaming, trying to get to a linebacker. I mean, if you're not looking in the right place, you're not going to probably be doing your job right. So he says it a lot on offense too.
Have you ever heard him say, Coach Van says, get your eyes right, where he refers to himself in the third person plus the eyes right?
No, I don't think it's gone that far yet. I sure hope it doesn't get to that point yet.
Okay. That's the ultimate Vanism. If he comes up with that one, you let me know, okay?
The Vanism? All right.
Ultimate Vanism. So, Phil, now that I'm banned from Scottsboro forever, I'll just let you take over for a minute.
Okay. Well, guys, I want to ask you a couple of things. I know, football is important. School's important. What do you guys do for fun off the field when football's not a factor?
Yeah, me and John Carter, us specifically, I mean, we like to play golf. I might not be the best ever, but I like being outside and enjoying the fresh air when I can.
Yeah, I like playing against Jake because I always win.
Okay.
So, yeah,
I'm a beginner when it comes to golf.
Yeah.
I've just started playing.
I'm a little bit better than him. I've been playing for a lot longer.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have said that about him on air, but I guess I'm just a bigger fan.
Hey, he's
Phil.
got to beat you at something. Most of the time, Jake's going to get the headlines, because he's an offensive player and the back always does. So if you can get him, you got to get him, don't you?
Oh, yeah. I got to find my ways to win.
I know I'm going to be on the football field, so I'll give him the golf. I'll give him the golf course. All right, I'll give him that.
Okay, well, when you guys are out running around, where do you like to go eat at the most?
I'll let you go first.
Fast food, probably Taco Bell.
Yeah, Taco Bell is a big one in Scottsboro. We just got a Chick-fil-A, but I think my favorite like fast food kind of chain is Chipotle. But we have to go to Huntsville to get that. So.
Well, I know you guys look up to players at the next level, whether it be pro or college. What are some of your favorite players? Kind of the guys you idolize.
For me, probably Luke Kuechly, because I mean, off the field, he was a nerd. Like he studied, watched film all the time, constantly watching film, and then he got on the field and he could just flip the switch like he was an animal. Like he knew what the offense was going to do him, but when he got there, he was going to make him hurt.
I think my favorite player ever at the next level is Scottsboro Jacksonville. No, I'm just playing. I think a guy I would probably look up to is probably Patrick Mahomes. If I had to pick a guy, I mean, we don't really built the same. I don't really throw like him, but he extends a lot of plays, and I think that's one thing that I'm okay at. If I'm gonna say that, is extending plays. So I look up to people like that, like Johnny Manziel. Maybe not a terrific guy off the field with the stuff he does, but great football player. So.
Well, he's a good golfer, though.
Yeah, that's what I hear.
Well,
maybe.
Yeah, definitely with that. Well, I want to ask you guys, if the opportunity comes, are you guys looking to play at the next level?
I mean, I've thought about it, but, I'm not really sure. I mean, I definitely have the grades if I wanted to go next level, but yeah. I've really just thought about, like, academic-wise, what I want to do.
Yeah, same here. We both have the grades to do it. Thought about it when I was like a freshman and sophomore, but I don't really know if my body can hold up that much longer. I feel old now.
Yeah, already. Well, I want to add, that leads me into this. If football's taken away from you career-wise, what do each of you want to do?
I think I'm probably going to go to Auburn, and I think I'm going to get a civil engineering degree.
Yeah, I'm also going to go to Auburn. I'm thinking either a business degree or an engineering degree. I haven't decided kind of which one yet, but I know Auburn has a great engineering school. So,
are y'all both Auburn fans?
Actually, I grew up an Alabama fan, so it's kind of weird to put on the blue and the orange or whatever.
Yeah, I'm an Alabama fan too. My sister actually just left for Alabama a couple of days ago. But
yeah, well, what that happened back when I was in school, there were tons of guys I went to school with that were Alabama fans, and they went to Auburn, but it was because of the academic part of it. And no matter who you root for, because you just want that degree. And like JC, if you go into engineering or something like that, that's a great school to go to.
It is,
and I like the campus there a lot better than Tuscaloosa.
Oh yes, yeah, it is a whole lot nice. And people seem to be down there a lot more friendly. I used to go around. Of course, this was back way before you guys' time. Me and John Kirby, a friend of mine, we used to go down to Auburn a lot in the late '80s. And people were just super nice down there. I enjoyed the campus, and it's one of the best you'll ever visit. So I can understand why you would like it down there. Yeah. Well, guys, do y'all have any individual goals? I know team-wise, it's to make the playoffs, win a state championship, naturally, the same old thing. But either of you have any specific goals individually this season that you want to accomplish?
Well, I was first team all region last year. I think that's that's like the bottom goal. I don't really set too many goals individually because I think if I get wrapped up in that, I'm not going to do my job to the best of my ability. I'm going to be too focused on stats or whatever. But I think, offensive player of the year would be nice, but I think if I'm going to do that, we're going to have to win a lot of games. So that's my main focus is just winning football games. So.
Yeah, for me, last year I got second team all region. This year I want to be first team all region. If not, defense player of the year. That'd be great.
Yeah, that are a good individual goes. Well, guys, before I turn it back over to Randy and let him close y'all out, name some of the guys on the team that are important, going into this season, because, I know your teammates love to hear their names. Just a shout out to some of the guys, JC, the defensive guys, and Jake, the offensive guys that you're counting on this fall.
For me, some of the young guys we have out wide at corner and safety, so Ty Fowler, Roland Moster, Quincy Franklin, and Jojo Mashburn or Jane Gilbert. He's kind of moved over. But some of those guys we're looking forward to step up because they're a little younger. Some of them are a little new. And so it's going to be important for them this year to step up into that new bet role. And another guy up front, it's important. Trip Nelson, he's a big guy, returner.
He has a great offseason.
Oh, yeah. And so it's important for him because he's a big guy. He's going to take up double teams. It's important for him to take on blocks, so it's harder for those linemen to get to the next level. It frees us up, allows us to fit there.
Yeah, like I said earlier, Jacoby Edmondson, he's had a great offseason. He's put on a lot of good weight. Our linemen, they've all gained good weight. They've gotten a lot bigger and stronger. I can't really speak on the specifics, but we have a new center. His name's Colin Rogers. He'll be a senior this year. He's started since he was a freshman. He played a little left guard for us up until this year. Now he's moving to center. I would say we're young on the outside. We got one senior that'll probably get snaps. His name's Tyler Shelton. He's a basketball guy. He's coming out this year. And then Cohen Thompson has had a really good offseason. He broke his leg or fractured his tibia or fibula or whatever in our jamboree last year. So he missed the whole year last year. But he moved over to offense, and he's had a great offseason. Jaden Gilbert will be playing. He'll be playing a little bit of offense and defense. Can't really say which one. Wherever he's needed, he'll play there. So he's had a great offseason. And then Antonio Grox, he played our halfback, pitchback last year for us. He's had a great offseason. He's gained some weight. And then Connor Baden, he's a young wide receiver for us. He's really sprouted and gotten a lot better for a young guy. So he'll get some meaningful snaps too.
Guys, okay. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Then one more. Our tight end, Cooper Harding. He's a junior. He stepped into that role, and he's been doing pretty well. So that's it.
One thing, what does it mean to be a Scottsboro Wildcat? I know the athletic department at Scottsboro, is top notch, first rate, one of the top programs in the state when you consider everything. Tell us what it means to be a Scottsboro Wildcat.
I've grown up here all my life. And I remember having John Carter he was in one of my first grade classes. He wasn't in my class, but I remember him running around on the playground with me. So, we've all grown up together. I think that's what means the most out of all of it is we've all grown up together. We're all brothers. And one last year, we can all put it all out there on the field. We both play multiple sports, and we do well in those sports. So it means a lot to be a Scottsboro Wildcat and do well in all of our sports.
Yeah, for me, when I hear Scottsboro, there's a standard there. You got to be at a high level of play to be able to play at Scottsboro High School.
Absolutely.
All right, Randy.
Hey, that actually led perfectly to this next question. I know JC's already mentioned he plays baseball, but what other sports do you play, Jake?
I play basketball and track. I throw discus and track, and I play point guard for Scottsboro. I started last year at point guard, and I throw discus. I hold the school record in discus. So,
do you enjoy track and field? My daughter is a freshman who you can't get her to play sports for anything, but she loves track and field. I think it's the individual element.
I think it's kind of a breath of fresh air from team sports. You kind of just get to like focus on yourself, and it's kind of relaxing in a way. I know it's still competitive, but it's a little bit less stressful than other sports like football, especially football.
JC, you play baseball.
Yes, sir. Sir, I'm sorry, you cut out.
What sports besides baseball, or is football, baseball your thing?
It's just football and baseball. In baseball, I play left field and I pitch a little bit.
What do you find similar between football and baseball? Anything?
Similar? It's hard to find similar. They're two really different sports. Like football is really it's high intensity. Baseball is still high intensity, but there's a lot more like mechanics and stuff to it. Like practices are more chill, and I mean we're still being intense, but like it's a lot more mechanics and mind based than football is.
I'll be the one to say it. Baseball is slow and football is a lot faster and quicker.
Yeah.
So.
But baseball, of course, baseball too. It's a lot of fundamental work too.
Yeah.
So we've talked about Coach Van a lot, but he brought a whole staff with him too. What's some of the assistants that you work with on a daily basis in your positions?
Coach A. Wilson, we call him A. Wilson because he has a brother that's on the staff too. Coach A. Wilson, he is pretty much over our weight room. He runs a lot of the lifts in the weight room. He's our wide receivers coach and offensive coordinator. I work with him a lot because he's our wide receivers coach, and we're constantly talking about what needs to happen with our passing game and whatnot. So I work with him a lot. And then Coach Tolliver, he's our running backs coach. Obviously, I work with him a lot too because Kobe's my running back. So
we have so Coach Hammond, he's our DC. I work with him a lot. He's been our linebackers coach too, as of lately. But I work with him a lot, talking about like technique and like the overall defense as a whole. And then we have Coach Mack. He came in from New Hope. He is our he does corners and special teams.
Yeah, he's our special teams.
He's our special teams guy. So I'm with him a lot in special teams periods. And then we have Coach P. He coaches safeties.
Has Coach Wilson ever divulged the fact that he's a Tennessee fan yet?
Yeah, all the time. We've had a few talks about that in colleges and stuff. So it's come up in topics before.
I graduated from Tennessee, so I call Coach Wilson my favorite coach. We'll keep that a secret between us.
All right.
Phil dropped out, but just to wrap this up, who would you like to shout out, Jake? Who would you like to just? Hey, Mom, can I have spaghetti tonight? Whatever you want to.
Well, if I'm gonna shout out, I'm gonna give some thanks. Shout out to my parents and my brother. They're always super supportive of me and all that I do and all that I chase. So they're always being very supportive of my dreams. So I would shout out them, and then obviously all of our coaching staff for putting in all the hours they do to try to help us win games and be the best that we can be. I know they miss their families a lot, and they're chasing their own goals too. So I know that's big for them. So I appreciate the coaches that we got.
I'm gonna shout out my mom. She's been with me through the ups and downs. Shout out my stepdad Dale. Shout out God for allowing me to be in this position.
Yeah.
Like I don't have to wake up in the morning,
No.
but I'm blessed that I do, and then I have the ability to play this beautiful game. And another guy I forgot to shout out earlier. Shout out Griffin Murdoch. He's been beside me since like 7th, 8th grade year, and he's a little wild off the field, but on the field he's we like have to lock in. He's been with me for a long time.
Yeah. I'll keep going. I'll also shout out God. I didn't forget him. I didn't think we were going there, but he's done a lot for me. I'm very blessed with all that I have, so I appreciate and I'm thankful for all that he does for me. I just want to shout out all the seniors too. They've been with us all along the way, and I know they know it's coming all to an end all too soon. But excited to play one last year with them. It's gonna be a lot of fun. So,
Guys, I'll send it back to the field to ask a couple of questions to close it out. I'll tell you the one thing that I love about Coach Van, and I've been with him for 3 years, win, lose, he's got on here every Tuesday night and took responsibility for losses and very little credit for wins. Coach Van's a good man, besides being a good football coach. So y'all are blessed to have that kind of leadership in front of you. That is. I'm twice Coach Van's age, but I honestly look up to him. If I needed advice, I'd go to him way before he'd come to me. So appreciate Van setting this up too. And when he starts talking about himself in third person, that's what old people do. Just ignore him. He'll be all right.
yeah.
Phil, close us out tonight.
Well, guys, I just want to wish you the best. I called games back at Scottsboro, and it's way before your time. I think the last season I called Scottsboro Wildcat football was in 2007, I believe it was. But a little piece of me still, I still love the Scottsboro Wildcats. But I want to wish you guys the best. Enjoyed having you on. I know you're in good hands with Coach Van, and have a great senior year. And my advice to you, soak it in. Cherish every moment because it goes by very fast, and because this is some of the best times of your life. So,
I think Phil was in the point of saying to enjoy the rest of your season
Absolutely.
when he got he blocked out. So I think his internet has been spotty at best today, but guys, we do appreciate it, and thank you for making time for us. And
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for having us.
hey, if you want to come back, you're more than welcome. And your parents. All I will say about Coach Van too, we used to ask the question, "Who's your favorite teacher?" Aiden Parham answered Coach Van. He got 43 carries the next week. So just remember that.
Okay.
A little more, Jake.
Okay. I'll make sure to shout them out all the time I can. So.
Yes, sir. Hey, I'm Randall Cunningham. That was Phil Harris. This is JC and Jake from Scottsboro. We'll catch you next time.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate y'all.
Sure.